Hello, my beautiful friends. I want you to take a deep breath with me right now. Just breathe in all the love and possibility that surrounds you, and breathe out any worry or tension you might be carrying about money. There, that feels better already, doesn't it? I'm so grateful you've chosen to spend this time with me today, and I want you to know that your willingness to be here, to explore a new way of thinking about money, is already a powerful step toward transformation. I know that many of you listening today have been struggling with money in some way. Perhaps you feel like no matter how hard you work, there's never quite enough. Maybe you find yourself lying awake at night, your mind spinning with worry about bills, about the future, about providing for your family, or even just for yourself. Or perhaps you've noticed that just when things start to look up financially, something happens and you're back to square one again. If any of this sounds familiar, I want you to know that you are not alone, and more importantly, you are not broken. The relationship we have with money is one of the most complex and emotionally charged relationships in our lives, yet it's something we rarely talk about openly or honestly. We carry shame about our financial struggles. We compare ourselves to others, and we often feel like our worth as human beings is somehow tied to the number in our bank account. But here's what I want you to understand right from the beginning. Your value as a person has absolutely nothing to do with how much money you have or don't have. You are worthy of abundance simply because you exist. What we're going to explore together today is something I call switching to money flow, and it begins with understanding that money is energy. Just like love, just like health, just like happiness, money flows to us and through us in response to our inner state of being. When we're in resistance, when we're operating from fear or scarcity, we actually block the natural flow of abundance that wants to come to us. But when we learn to align ourselves with the energy of prosperity, when we open our hearts and minds to receive, money begins to flow more easily and naturally into our lives. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending that financial challenges don't exist. This is about recognizing that our inner world creates our outer world, and that by healing our relationship with money from the inside out, we can transform our financial reality. The techniques and insights I'm going to share with you today have helped thousands of people move from struggle to ease, from scarcity to abundance, and they can work for you too. I want to create a safe and loving space here where you can be honest about your money fears without judgment. There's no shame in having struggled financially. There's no shame in having made mistakes with money. There's no shame in wanting more abundance in your life. What we're doing today is creating a new foundation, a new way of thinking and being that will support you in attracting and maintaining greater prosperity. Now let's talk about your current money story, because each of us has one. This story was written long before you had any conscious choice in the matter. It began when you were very young, perhaps even before you could walk or talk, as you absorbed the energy and beliefs about money from the people around you. You may have grown up in a household where money was a source of constant stress and argument. Perhaps you heard phrases like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We can't afford that," or "Rich people are greedy," repeated so often that they became your truth. Or maybe your family never talked about money at all, treating it like a mysterious force that somehow appeared and disappeared without explanation. Some of you might have grown up with abundance, but learned that money came with strings attached, that love and approval were somehow connected to financial success, or that having money meant you had to be perfect or constantly achieving. Whatever your early experiences were, they created neural pathways in your brain, patterns of thinking and feeling about money that continue to operate automatically today. These aren't conscious choices you made. They're simply the programming you received, like a computer that's been loaded with certain software. The beautiful news is that just as we can update software on a computer, we can reprogram our minds with new, more supportive beliefs about money. Think about the stories you tell yourself about money. Do you often find yourself saying things like, "I'm not good with money," or "I never have enough," or "money slips through my fingers"? These aren't just innocent observations, they're powerful declarations that your subconscious mind takes as instructions. Your subconscious doesn't judge whether these statements are good or bad, it simply works to make them true in your experience. Many people carry deep-seated beliefs that they don't deserve financial abundance, often stemming from feelings of unworthiness that were planted in childhood. Perhaps you were told you were too much trouble, or too expensive, or that you should be grateful for what you have and not ask for more. Maybe you learned that good people struggle with money, that it's somehow more noble or spiritual to have less rather than more. Some individuals develop what I call the money monster in their minds, this fearsome creature that makes money feel dangerous or overwhelming. They may have witnessed financial trauma in their family, such as bankruptcy, foreclosure, or the way money problems destroyed relationships. For them, having money feels unsafe because their subconscious associates it with pain and loss. Others create stories around not being smart enough or educated enough to manage money well. They may have been told they're just not a numbers person, or they may have had experiences that reinforce the belief that money is too complicated for them to understand. This leads to a sense of helplessness and dependence that keeps them stuck in financial limitation. The patterns we develop around money often mirror the patterns we have in other areas of our lives. If you tend to give too much of yourself in relationships, you might also find yourself giving money away inappropriately or undercharging for your services. If you struggle with boundaries in general, you might have difficulty setting financial boundaries. If you have a pattern of self-sabotage, it might show up as overspending just when you're getting ahead financially. What's fascinating is that these money patterns often persist even when our external circumstances change. People who win the lottery or suddenly come into large sums of money frequently lose it all within a few years because their inner money story hasn't changed. They may consciously want abundance, but their subconscious is still operating from the old programming that says they don't deserve it or can't handle it. Understanding your money story isn't about blaming your parents or your past circumstances. It's about gaining clarity so you can choose consciously moving forward. When you can see the patterns clearly, you can begin to change them. When you can recognize the old programming, you can start to install new, more supportive software in your mind. Your body holds incredible wisdom about your relationship with money, and learning to listen to these physical signals can provide valuable insights into your money blocks and resistances. When you think about your finances, what happens in your body? Do your shoulders tense up? Does your stomach clench? Do you feel a heaviness in your chest or a tightness in your throat? These physical responses are your body's way of communicating that there's stress and resistance around money. The stress response in your body doesn't distinguish between a real physical threat and the threat you perceive around money. When you're worried about paying bills or anxious about your financial future, your body responds as if you're being chased by a wild animal. Your nervous system goes into fight, flight, or freeze mode, flooding your system with stress hormones that are designed to help you survive immediate physical danger. But here's the challenge. When your body is in this stressed state, you're not in your most creative, resourceful, or intuitive space. You're operating from survival mode rather than thriving mode. This makes it much more difficult to see opportunities, to make clear decisions, or to take inspired action that could improve your financial situation. Chronic stress about money literally blocks your ability to attract more money. The energy of scarcity feels tight, constricted, and fearful in the body. When you're operating from scarcity, you might notice that you hold your breath, clench your jaw, or tense your muscles without even realizing it. Your posture might become closed and protective, with rounded shoulders and a sunken chest, as if you're literally trying to protect yourself from financial harm. In contrast, the energy of abundance feels open, relaxed, and flowing in the body. When you're aligned with prosperity consciousness, your breathing becomes deeper and more natural. Your posture opens up, your shoulders relax, and there's a sense of ease and grace in your movements. You feel grounded and centered, connected to your own inner wisdom and to the abundant universe around you. Many people carry what I call money trauma in their bodies, physical tension and stress patterns that developed in response to financial difficulties or fears. This might show up as chronic neck and shoulder tension from carrying the weight of financial responsibility, digestive issues from the anxiety of not having enough, or sleep problems from lying awake worrying about money. Your breathing pattern can tell you a lot about your money relationship. When you're stressed about finances, your breathing often becomes shallow and restricted, centered high in your chest rather than deep in your belly. This shallow breathing actually reinforces the stress response and keeps you stuck in survival mode. Learning to breathe deeply and fully is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to shift out of money stress and into money flow. Let's try a simple exercise right now. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing your belly to expand first, then your chest. Hold for just a moment, then breathe out slowly through your mouth, letting your belly fall first, then your chest. As you do this, say silently to yourself, I am safe, I am provided for, abundance flows to me easily and naturally. Notice what happens in your body as you breathe this way and speak these words. You might feel your muscles softening, your nervous system calming, your mind becoming clearer. This is what it feels like to be in money flow rather than money resistance. This calm, open, receptive state is where your greatest financial insights and opportunities will come from. The fascinating thing about the mind-body connection with money is that by changing your physical state, you can actually change your mental and emotional state around finances. When you consciously relax your body, breathe deeply, and open your posture, you're sending signals to your brain that it's safe to move out of survival mode and into creative, abundant thinking. Your body also holds the memory of every financial experience you've ever had. It remembers the fear from childhood when money was scarce, the shame of financial mistakes, the anxiety of uncertain times. But it also holds the potential for new experiences of ease, flow, and abundance. By working with your body consciously, by teaching it to relax around money rather than contract, you're literally rewiring your nervous system for prosperity. Now that you understand how your body responds to money stress and you've experienced what it feels like to breathe in abundance, we can begin the beautiful process of releasing the old patterns that have been keeping you stuck. This isn't about forcing yourself to think differently or pretending that your fears don't exist. True transformation happens when we approach our old patterns with love and compassion, understanding that they served a purpose at one time, even if they're no longer helpful. The first step in releasing old money patterns is to recognize them without judgment. Many people carry beliefs like, I'm not meant to be wealthy, or good people struggle with money, or if I have money, others will have less. These beliefs feel so true and so much a part of who we are that we don't even question them. But every belief is just a thought that we've thought over and over again until it feels like fact. Some of the most common limiting beliefs I've encountered include the idea that money is the root of all evil, that wealthy people are selfish or corrupt, or that having money will change you in negative ways. Others believe that they must work extremely hard for every dollar, that money is scarce and there's not enough to go around, or that they don't have the right education or background to create wealth. Many people carry the belief that they're simply not good with money, or that they lack the discipline or intelligence to manage finances well. Some believe that they don't deserve abundance because of past mistakes, or because they feel they haven't suffered enough or worked hard enough. Others hold on to the idea that spiritual people shouldn't care about money, or that wanting financial abundance is somehow selfish or materialistic. One of the most powerful tools for releasing these old patterns is forgiveness. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving yourself for every financial mistake you've ever made, every poor decision, every moment when you felt you failed with money. Guilt and shame around money are like heavy chains that keep you anchored to the past and prevent you from moving into a more abundant future. Perhaps you're carrying guilt about a business that failed, a bankruptcy, a time when you couldn't provide for your family the way you wanted to, or decisions that led to financial loss. Maybe you feel ashamed about debts you've accumulated, money you've borrowed and struggled to repay, or times when you had to ask for help. These feelings are understandable, but they're also keeping you trapped in cycles of limitation. Forgiveness doesn't mean that mistakes don't matter, or that there aren't consequences to our actions. Forgiveness means that you refuse to let past errors define your future possibilities. It means recognizing that you made the best decisions you could with the awareness and resources you had at the time. It means understanding that every experience, even the painful ones, has taught you something valuable. When you forgive yourself for past financial mistakes, you free up enormous amounts of energy that have been tied up in regret and self-criticism. This energy can then be redirected toward creating new, more positive financial experiences. Forgiveness opens the door to learning, growth, and transformation. Many people also need to forgive family members or others who influence their money beliefs in limiting ways. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or pretending that certain experiences weren't painful. It means releasing the emotional charge around these experiences so they no longer have power over your present choices. When you forgive, you're not changing the past, but you're changing your relationship to the past. Let's do a simple releasing exercise together. Take a few deep breaths and bring to mind any guilt, shame, or resentment you're carrying about money. It might be directed toward yourself, toward others, or toward circumstances beyond anyone's control. Place your hand on your heart and say these words with me. I forgive myself for every financial mistake I've ever made. I forgive myself for the times I felt I failed with money. I forgive anyone who influenced me to believe I wasn't worthy of abundance. I release all guilt and shame around money, and I open my heart to receive prosperity with grace and ease. As you speak these words, you might notice emotions arising. This is natural and healing. Allow whatever feelings come up to be there without trying to fix or change them. Breathe through them with compassion for yourself. Some people experience immediate relief, while others find that forgiveness is a process that unfolds over time. Trust your own timing and be patient with yourself. Another powerful way to release old money patterns is through what I call the rewriting process. Take a piece of paper and write down all the negative beliefs you have about money, no matter how silly or irrational they might seem. Don't censor yourself, just let them flow onto the paper. Then, next to each limiting belief, write a new, more supportive belief that feels possible for you to embrace. For example, if you wrote "money doesn't grow on trees," you might rewrite it as "money flows to me in expected and unexpected ways." If you wrote, "I'm terrible with money," you could rewrite it as, "I'm learning to manage money with wisdom and ease." The key is to choose new beliefs that feel believable to you right now, even if they're not yet your full reality. Now we come to something truly beautiful and powerful, the energy of 888. Numbers carry vibrational frequencies, and 888 is one of the most potent combinations for attracting abundance and prosperity. When you see this number sequence, the universe is literally sending you a signal that you're aligned with the flow of infinite abundance. The number 8 itself represents infinity when turned on its side. It's the symbol of continuous flow, of energy that moves in an endless loop with no beginning and no end. When you have three eights together, this energy is magnified and amplified. 888 represents the infinite nature of universal abundance and your connection to this limitless source of prosperity. In numerology, 888 is often called the money number because it carries the vibration of material and financial abundance. But it's so much more than that. This number sequence represents balance between the material and spiritual worlds. It reminds us that abundance is our natural state and that prosperity is not separate from spirituality but is actually an expression of our divine nature. When 888 appears in your life, it's often a sign that you're about to experience a significant shift in your financial reality. It might show up on clocks, receipts, phone numbers, or license plates just when you need encouragement about money. The universe has a beautiful way of communicating with us through these number sequences, and 888 is particularly powerful for those who are ready to step into greater financial flow. The energy of 888 is also about recognizing the abundance that already exists in your life. Before you can attract more money, you need to acknowledge and appreciate the resources you currently have. This might include your health, your relationships, your skills and talents, your home, your ability to read these words, or simply the fact that you're alive and breathing. Abundance consciousness begins with gratitude for what is, not with focusing on what's missing. 888 energy teaches us that abundance is not about hoarding or accumulating for its own sake. True prosperity is about flow. Money coming in and money going out in a healthy, balanced way that serves your highest good and the highest good of others. When you're in 888 flow, you trust that as money goes out for necessary expenses or generous giving, more money will come in to replace it and more. This number sequence also carries the energy of manifestation and co-creation with the universe. When you align yourself with 888 energy, you're not trying to force or manipulate outcomes. Instead, you're opening yourself to receive the abundance that wants to flow to you naturally. You're stepping into your role as a co-creator with the universe, trusting that your needs will be met and your dreams can be fulfilled. To connect with 888 energy, you can visualize this number sequence glowing with golden light in your mind's eye. See it expanding and filling your entire being with the vibration of abundance. You can also write 888 on small pieces of paper and place them where you'll see them regularly, in your wallet, on your bathroom mirror, or on your computer screen. Each time you see this number, let it remind you that you're connected to infinite abundance. The most important shift you can make in attracting money is changing the conversation you have with yourself about finances. Right now, pause and listen to the voice in your head when it comes to money. What is it saying? For most people, this inner dialogue is filled with worry, criticism, and limitation. Thoughts like, "I can't afford that," "I'm always broke," "Money is so tight," or "I'll never get ahead" play on repeat like a broken record. Your subconscious mind is always listening to this internal conversation, and it works tirelessly to make your dominant thoughts into your reality. If your inner dialogue about money is predominantly negative, your subconscious will find ways to create experiences that match those thoughts. This isn't punishment or bad luck. It's simply how the mind works. The beautiful news is that you have the power to change this internal conversation at any moment. You can choose new thoughts, new words, and new ways of speaking to yourself about money. This isn't about lying to yourself or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about choosing thoughts that empower you rather than discourage you, thoughts that open possibilities rather than close them down. Start by becoming aware of your automatic money thoughts throughout the day. Don't judge them or try to change them immediately. Just notice them with curiosity and compassion. You might be surprised at how often negative money thoughts arise and how they affect your mood and energy. Awareness is always the first step in transformation. When you catch yourself thinking or saying something limiting about money, pause and ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hurting me? Is it opening doors or closing them? Then gently choose a more supportive thought. If you catch yourself saying, I can't afford it, you might shift to, I'm choosing not to purchase this right now, or I'm exploring ways to afford this. One of the most powerful shifts you can make is moving from I don't have enough money to I'm grateful for the money I do have, and I'm open to receiving more. This small change in language makes a huge difference in how you feel and in the energy you're putting out into the world. It acknowledges your current reality while also affirming your openness to improvement. Your self-worth plays a crucial role in your ability to attract and receive money. If deep down you don't believe you deserve abundance, you'll unconsciously sabotage your efforts to create it. You might work hard and do all the right things, but you'll find ways to give the money away, spend it inappropriately, or create situations where it doesn't stay with you. Building self-worth around money often means challenging the voice that says you're not smart enough, educated enough, experienced enough, or worthy enough to have financial abundance. This voice might have been installed by well-meaning but misguided family members, teachers, or society in general. But it's not your true voice, and it doesn't represent your actual capabilities or worthiness. Start speaking to yourself the way you would speak to a beloved friend who was struggling with money. Would you tell a dear friend that they don't deserve abundance or that they're not capable of improving their financial situation? Of course not. You would offer encouragement, support, and loving guidance. Begin offering this same kindness to yourself. Your inner money conversation should be filled with appreciation for your efforts, excitement about possibilities, and confidence in your ability to learn and grow. Instead of focusing on what you've done wrong, celebrate what you've done right. Instead of criticizing yourself for not being where you want to be financially, acknowledge how far you've already come. Each time you speak kindly to yourself about money, you're literally rewiring your brain for abundance. You're creating new neural pathways that support prosperity rather than limitation. This process takes time and repetition, just like learning any new skill, but the results are profound and lasting. Remember that changing your inner money conversation isn't about perfection. There will be times when old thoughts and patterns resurface, and that's completely normal. The goal isn't to never have a worried thought about money again. The goal is to notice these thoughts more quickly and redirect them more easily. With practice, your default setting will shift from scarcity to abundance, from fear to trust, from limitation to possibility. Now that you've begun to shift your inner conversation about money, let's explore the specific words and phrases that can literally transform your financial reality. Words are not just sounds or marks on paper. They are vibrations that carry energy and intention out into the universe. When you speak certain words and phrases with feeling and conviction, you're actually programming your subconscious mind and aligning your energy with the abundance you desire. The power words I'm about to share with you are like keys that unlock the door to money flow. They work because they help you embody the energy of someone who already has abundant resources, someone who expects good things to happen, someone who knows they are worthy of prosperity. When you use these words consistently, you begin to feel different about money, and when you feel different, you attract different experiences. Let's start with some of the most powerful phrases for attracting money flow. Money comes to me easily and often is a simple yet profound affirmation that helps you release the belief that money must be difficult to obtain. When you repeat this phrase regularly, you're training your mind to expect easy money flow rather than struggle and hardship. I am a money magnet is another incredibly powerful phrase because it positions you as someone who naturally attracts financial abundance. When you declare yourself a money magnet, you're claiming your inherent ability to draw prosperity to you. You're not begging for money or hoping it might come. You're stating with confidence that you are someone who naturally attracts wealth. Money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources, opens you up to receive abundance in ways you might not have considered. So often we limit ourselves by thinking money can only come from our job or from certain specific sources. This phrase expands your awareness to the infinite ways the universe can deliver financial abundance to you. I deserve to be financially free and abundant addresses the worthiness issues that keep so many people stuck in financial limitation. When you declare your deservingness, you're overriding the old programming that might have told you that you don't deserve good things or that you should be satisfied with less than you truly want. Abundance is my natural state is a profound reminder that prosperity is not something foreign or unnatural for you to experience. Just as flowers naturally bloom and rivers naturally flow, abundance is meant to be a natural expression of your divine nature. When you remember this truth, you stop working against the natural flow of prosperity and start working with it. Now let's talk about the specific 888 boost technique. This is a powerful method that combines the energy of 888 with intentional speaking to rapidly shift your money vibration. Here's how it works. 3 times a day at 8 a.m., 8 p.m., and whenever you see 888 appear in your life, you're going to speak specific abundance affirmations with deep feeling and conviction. At 8 a.m., as you're beginning your day, say, I am open and receptive to all the wealth life offers me. Money flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs are met, and I prosper wherever I turn. Speak these words as if they are already true, feeling the gratitude and excitement of someone who is experiencing financial abundance. At 8 p.m., as you're preparing to end your day, say, I give thanks for all the money that flowed to me today in seen and unseen ways. I sleep peacefully knowing that abundance is working for me even while I rest. I wake up tomorrow to even greater prosperity. This evening practice helps you acknowledge the abundance that was present in your day, even if it wasn't in the form of actual money, and it programs your subconscious for continued prosperity while you sleep. Whenever you see 888 appear naturally in your life, pause and say, Thank you, universe, for this sign of abundance. I am aligned with infinite prosperity, and I welcome all good into my life now. This creates a powerful connection between the 888 energy and your conscious intention to receive abundance. The key to making these power words effective is to speak them with genuine feeling rather than just reciting them mechanically. Your subconscious mind responds to emotion more than to logic, so the more feeling you can put behind your words, the more powerful they become. When you say, money flows to me easily, try to feel what it would be like if this were completely true in your life right now. You can also adapt these phrases to fit your specific financial goals and situations. If you're looking for a new job, you might say, the perfect position with abundant compensation is seeking me now. If you're building a business, you could say, customers are drawn to me and excited to exchange money for my services. If you're dealing with debt, you might say, I have all the resources I need to handle my financial obligations with ease and grace. Another powerful technique is to speak to money directly, as if it were a friend or ally. You might say, Dear money, I welcome you into my life. I promise to treat you with respect and use you wisely for my highest good and the good of others. Please come to me easily and stay with me joyfully. This helps you develop a positive, cooperative relationship with money rather than seeing it as something to chase or struggle for. Remember that the universe responds to your dominant vibration, not just to the words you speak occasionally. This is why consistency is so important. The more often you use these power words, the more you embed the energy of abundance into your daily experience. Eventually, these positive money thoughts become your new default setting. Creating daily practices that support sustained money flow is essential for long-term financial transformation. Just as you wouldn't expect to get physically fit by exercising once, you can't expect to change your financial reality without consistent daily practices that keep you aligned with abundance energy. Your morning routine sets the tone for your entire day, so it's the perfect time to establish practices that support money flow. Begin each morning by taking a few moments to appreciate the abundance that already exists in your life. This might include appreciating your health, your home, your relationships, your skills, or simply the fact that you're alive and have the opportunity to create a new day. After expressing gratitude for what you already have, spend a few minutes visualizing your ideal financial life. See yourself living in the way you desire, having the resources you want, feeling free and secure about money. Make this visualization as detailed and emotionally engaging as possible. Feel the relief, joy, and gratitude of having abundant resources. Then, set a clear intention for your day regarding money. You might say, Today, I am open to receiving abundance in all forms. I notice and appreciate every form of wealth that shows up in my life. I take inspired action toward my financial goals with ease and confidence. This intention primes your awareness to notice opportunities and blessings that you might otherwise miss. Throughout your day, practice what I call abundance spotting. This means consciously looking for evidence of abundance around you. Notice the abundance of nature, the abundance of choices available to you, the abundance of knowledge at your fingertips, the abundance of kind people in the world. When you train your mind to see abundance everywhere, you naturally begin to attract more abundance into your personal experience. Gratitude practice is one of the most powerful tools for maintaining money flow. Each evening, write down at least 3 things you're grateful for related to money or resources. This might include appreciating a meal you enjoyed, a warm home, a helpful conversation, a small, unexpected discount, or simply the fact that your basic needs were met. Even on challenging days, there is always something to appreciate. Mirror work is another transformative daily practice. Look into your own eyes in the mirror and speak loving, supportive words to yourself about money. You might say, I love and approve of myself, and I deserve to be financially abundant. Or, you are smart and capable, and you can learn anything you need to know about money. At first, this might feel awkward or uncomfortable, but with practice, it becomes a powerful way to build self-worth and confidence around finances. Keep a prosperity journal where you record not just the money that comes to you, but all the ways abundance shows up in your life. This might include gifts you receive, services provided to you, opportunities that arise, problems that solve themselves, or unexpected help that appears. When you start documenting abundance in all its forms, you begin to see how rich and supported your life already is. Practice conscious spending and receiving. Before you make any purchase, pause and ask yourself if this expenditure aligns with your highest good and your financial goals. When you do spend money, do it with appreciation and joy rather than guilt or resentment. Similarly, when money comes to you, receive it gracefully and gratefully rather than downplaying it or feeling unworthy. Create a sacred space in your home dedicated to abundance and prosperity. This might be a small altar with symbols of wealth, a vision board showing your financial goals, or simply a beautiful box where you keep affirmations and gratitude lists. Having a physical space that represents your prosperity intentions helps anchor the energy of abundance in your environment. End each day by blessing the money you have, no matter how much or how little it might be. Hold your wallet or look at your bank balance and send it love and appreciation. Thank your money for the security and opportunities it provides. This practice helps you maintain a positive relationship with money rather than seeing it as a source of stress or inadequacy. As you begin implementing these new practices and shifting your money consciousness, it's natural for resistance to arise. Your old patterns and beliefs won't disappear overnight, and there will be times when fear, doubt, or scarcity thinking resurfaces. This doesn't mean you're failing or that the process isn't working. It simply means you're human and change takes time. When old money fears come up, the first thing to remember is not to fight them or judge yourself for having them. Resistance is like a river current. The harder you fight against it, the more exhausted you become. Instead, acknowledge the fear with compassion and then gently redirect your attention to more supportive thoughts and feelings. You might notice that just when things start improving financially, you begin to worry that it won't last or that something bad will happen to take it away. This is what I call abundance anxiety, and it's very common among people who are shifting from scarcity to prosperity consciousness. Your nervous system might not be used to feeling safe and secure about money, so abundance can actually feel threatening at first. When abundance anxiety arises, remind yourself that it's safe to have money, it's safe to be prosperous, and it's safe to relax about finances. Breathe deeply and return to the present moment. Often, abundance anxiety is just your mind projecting fears about the future rather than responding to anything that's actually happening right now. Some people experience what I call money guilt when their financial situation begins to improve. They may feel guilty about having more when others have less, or they may worry that their prosperity comes at someone else's expense. Remember that abundance is not a limited resource that must be divided among people. Your prosperity doesn't take anything away from anyone else. In fact, when you're financially healthy, you're better able to contribute positively to others and to the world. If old spending patterns resurface, approach them with curiosity rather than criticism. Ask yourself what need you were trying to meet through spending. Were you seeking comfort, control, excitement, or connection? Once you understand the underlying need, you can find healthier ways to meet it that don't compromise your financial goals. When setbacks occur, as they sometimes do, remember that they're temporary and they don't erase the progress you've made. A financial challenge doesn't mean you're back to square one or that your abundance practices aren't working. It might simply mean there's another layer of healing to do or another lesson to learn. Stay committed to your practices even when external circumstances seem difficult. Pay attention to the signs that your money consciousness is shifting. You might notice that you feel more relaxed about finances, that opportunities seem to appear more frequently, that people are more generous with you, or that money comes to you in unexpected ways. You might find yourself making better financial decisions naturally, or feeling more confident about your ability to handle money challenges. Celebrate every positive change, no matter how small it might seem. If you find $1 on the street, if you receive an unexpected refund, if someone offers to pay for your coffee, if you get a discount you weren't expecting, acknowledge these as signs that your money flow is improving. The universe often starts with small demonstrations before delivering larger ones. Stay consistent with your daily practices even when you don't feel like doing them. There will be days when speaking affirmations feels silly, when gratitude feels forced, or when visualization seems pointless. These are often the most important days to continue your practices because they help you maintain your new vibration even when external circumstances are challenging. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want you to take a moment to appreciate yourself for being here, for being open to changing your relationship with money, and for being willing to see abundance as your birthright rather than as something you have to earn or deserve through struggle. The journey from financial limitation to money flow is not always easy, but it is always possible. Every person who has ever created abundance in their life started exactly where you are now, with a willingness to think differently, to believe in possibilities, and to take action aligned with their desires rather than their fears. You now have tools and insights that can transform your financial reality if you use them consistently and with faith. You understand that your thoughts and feelings about money create your experiences with money. You know that abundance is your natural state and that you can align with this truth through daily practices and conscious choices. The 888th energy we've explored today will continue to support you as you move forward on this journey. Each time you see this number sequence, let it remind you that you are connected to infinite abundance and that prosperity is flowing towards you in perfect timing. Trust the process, trust yourself, and trust that the universe wants you to be financially free and abundant. Remember that you are not trying to get abundance from outside yourself. You are learning to express the abundance that already exists within you. You are not trying to convince the universe to give you money. You are remembering that you are part of an abundant universe and that prosperity is your divine inheritance. Your financial transformation begins with your next thought, your next word, your next choice. You have everything you need within you right now to create the abundant life you desire. The universe is ready to support you. Money is ready to flow to you, and opportunities are ready to present themselves to you. Go forward with confidence, knowing that you are worthy of all good things. Speak the words of abundance, think the thoughts of prosperity, and take the actions of someone who knows they are divinely supported. Your abundant life is not just a dream, it is your destiny, and it begins now. I love you, I believe in you, and I know that your greatest prosperity is yet to come. Trust the journey, embrace the flow, and allow yourself to receive all the abundance that life has to offer you. You deserve it, you can have it, and it's coming to you now.